Hey, this is Anthony with Vapehead, and I know it's been about 2 weeks or something like that there since I've been able to get a video out here, so apologies for that. But I wanted to jump in here today real quick and do a review of the Steam Turbine clone. This is a regularly $250 tank, I think. And the clones sell on eBay for usually about 25, 30, $35, something like that. They're just depending on who you get it from. They are literally identical to the real deal. There is a couple of differences. This right here is just my own little drip tip uh, that I use on it. When I bought the tank, I got it from a local vape shop here, and they had actually lost the original drip tip, so I got it for a little bit cheaper than what the normal clone price would have been, which would have been probably around like $30, and I got it for about $2 or $3 cheaper, so big deal. But anyway, I wanted to kind of break this thing down and get my drip tip out of the way here, and we can start breaking this thing down some. And let's see here. And I'll show you the difference between the clone and the real thing here in a second. It's got a 510 drip tip. This is a 510 drip tip. This is a 510 drip tip connection right there. It does work on just about probably pretty much every drip tip you've got, unless you have one of the really odd ones, which I think is like the Aqua, I think, is not a 510 drip tip. I can't remember, but anyway, you can take the top off. You have to unscrew it, and then you got this little jelly bean turbine looking kind of steel wheel here that fits over the top of the Pyrex glass, and that is glass. That's the glass tank. It's 2.5 milliliters, and you can see it's just just a jelly bean. Looks kind of like a turbine almost, and I'm pretty sure you can probably hear my cats in the background. Um, Now I'll take the tank off just so I can show this, and the tank's not too hard to get off. You just kind of twist it a couple of times, and she'll pretty much kind of pop off there. I already have this one dual coil set up. I did this one myself a couple of days ago, so it's already got the dual coil set up. But I'll move the wicks out of the way just so that it exposes this center bar. There we go. Now, if you look at the center bar, you see that it's all stainless steel, even the clones. But you see how clean that is. There's no markings on that there, nothing. It's totally clean. The real turbines, the real steam turbines, will have kind of a grooved cutting in the center post here. It'll have that kind of grooved cut that makes it look like it's spinning. And that's how you know if you've got a real steam or a clone, because these things, they're, like I said, they're not, the clones are just as good, if not, in my personal opinion, some of them are even better than the real thing, just depending. They're definitely cheaper, but unless you just get a very crappy one, they're usually very well built. Now, putting this thing back together is not that big of an issue. You just slide the glass. I'll show you. You slide the glass off. Now, when you first get it, it may be a little bit difficult to get it back off, get it off, and get it back on the first couple of times, because it's just held on with just rubber seals at the bottom of this thing. You can see the rubber seal there. You see the rubber seal there. You see the rubber seal here. It does have the 510 threading, which fits literally every mod out there. But you would need like a mechanical or a really good variable voltage, variable wattage mod in order for it to really run to its capacity. You put that there back on there, it does screw on. It doesn't just slide on there. This thing screws on. And you can see that there. It's got the little threading down at the bottom of it. See the little threading right there. It's got a little bit of threading there. Just enough to get it on there so it doesn't go anywhere. And then you got your top cap, which also screws down. And this one you have to kind of push it a little bit because you have to get it over that rubber grommet at the top of it, that seal. And you just kind of finger tight that thing, and that's about it. And of course you put your drip tip back in, and there you go. That's the steam turbine. Now it does have 4 air holes in it, right up here at the top. You can see 2 of them right there. And then if I turn it all the way around, it's got 2 more right here. And that's to feed the wicks inside. And what I'm running on it right now is cotton. I'm running a dual coil cotton. I built this right here myself just a couple of days ago, like I said. And I've been using it for about 2 days now. And as you can see, it's a totally empty tank. So we're going to put it on my Ironman clone. This is the Ironman clone. It's brass and stainless. I've had it for about a week and a half now, and I've had the tank for about 3 or 4 days. No, I've had the Ironman for about a week, and I've had this for about 2 days now. Yeah. Because I'm still waiting on the other tank that I originally ordered from eBay to get here, and it's having issues because of the storms that rolled through up in Maryland into New Jersey, and that's where it was coming from, was Jersey. And it's having an issue getting down here because of all the weather that hit up there and the damages that were done, and I can understand that totally. So that's a whole different story. But anyway, hopefully it'll be here in the next day or two and I can actually get my tank. So come on, U.S. Postal Service. But don't let me down now. Pony Express, man, come on. And I'll show you this thing mounted up on here. It's got a very sweet look on top of the Ironman. You know, that's just my personal opinion, but to me, it's just got a very, very good look sitting on top of the Ironman. And I'll do a review on the Ironman either later on today or tomorrow, one of the two. This is the 3rd of May, rather, sorry. This is the 3rd of May. It's like 6 something in the morning, and yeah, I got up specially to do this video for you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. I'm still trying to wake up. Anyway, I'll either do this right here later on today or probably tomorrow morning. 9 chances out of 10 it'll probably be tomorrow whenever I do the review for the Ironman. But this is the steam turbine clone, and it's from HCigar. That's another nice thing about it. This is an HCigar clone, so it's a good quality clone. There's several different companies out there that are doing the clones. Infinity, HCigar, Tobacco, and most of them are U.S. clones, because these things don't come from here. They come from the Philippines, they come from China, they come from Japan, and then we get our hands on it and go, ooh, well, we'll make a copy of that. And they do. Usually all the way down to the which they did it on the Ironman. I'll show you real quick. All the way down to the trademark diamond and a 4-digit serial number on the bottom of it. I mean, it's very well done. The Ironman is very well built. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go into it today, but tomorrow I'll be doing a review of the Ironman. So, and maybe of my other tank if it's here today. I'll do it tomorrow as well. So, because I got a Prometheus clone coming. So, hopefully I can do those two. But this right here is what it looks like mounted on top of that without all the stuff. And as you can see, it's ready to go. So I'm going to juice it up with some very well steeped Mount Baker Vapor Extreme Ice. This has been setting, other than being shaken up about once a week, this has been setting in a nice, dark, cool place for about a month and a half now. I have not touched it. So it's about to get touched. So I'm going to take my needle apart here. There we go. And to fill this, of course, right here, you can see right there. Once you get all your coils in, you're going to have one hole right there, and that's how you fill your tank. And like I said, this is a 2.5 milliliter tank. So I'm going to get it up here where I can see. And I'm going to pump in about 2 milliliters. About right there would be good. That'll be good enough anyway. There we go. Okay, now add just a little bit more. About that will do. Okay, now I'll clean that thing up. And these right here are really, really handy. They're blunt tipped needles. You can see that that is not a real good idea to use it for anything other than filling your tanks. But you can get these off of Amazon. You can get like a bag of, I think it's 15 or 20 of them for like $5 or $6. They're not that expensive. That's what I have, and I'm going to use it until I wear one out, throw it away, do the same thing, and just keep on going. They work really well to fill these kind of tanks. So now that we have that loaded with extreme ice from Mount Baker Vapor, and let's see here, we're going to hit it once and just let you guys see it here. Plus, this right here gets the wicks ready to go. It'll get them to sucking up the juice like they should. Now, you see that right there, and probably some of you are going to sit there and think, "Oh, why is it not doing what it should be doing?" Well, let me get a toke real quick. Minty. It's got a really good burn to it. The one thing that I like about it, depending on what kind of juice you're running through it, depends on how it's going to work. The Mount Baker Vapor is the Extreme Ice is a hit of mint. It's like holding mouthwash in your mouth. But it's not in a bad way. It's actually really, really good. I've definitely got this in my face here. Let's see if I can get in a position here where the sun's not so much in my eyes. There we go. It's a good flavor though, it really is, but it does have a very stout mint to it because two reasons. Usually a bottle like this right here would have already been used up, but because I had other juices sitting there and I didn't want to have to open this thing up. This is the 30 milliliter bottle, and I didn't want to have to open this up. So, or no, I'm sorry, this is the 50 milliliter bottle. I'm sorry, and they don't do the 50 anymore. And I've been saving this basically. So yeah, it's been steeping for a while, so it's got a real prominent mint, and it'll hit really good, and it does hit real good in this steam turbine. So one more time here. Now, another thing you guys may be noticing, excuse me, is that you watch all the other YouTube videos and you see these guys blowing out these beautiful, epic, huge clouds of vapor. And you're sitting there going, well, Anthony, you're not blowing out these huge, epic clouds of vapor. I'll show you. Stand up where you can do it. One more. Okay. Now that I've shown that it's not because of the view from the camera, I'll tell you why I don't get those huge epic clouds of vapor. This is Mount Baker Vapor Extreme Ice. Okay. This is the 50 milliliter bottle, and like I said, they discontinued these. They don't make them no more. They do the 15 and the 30 and the 256 milliliter, I think. The big boy. But what I run is 50% PG and 50% VG. And the reason that those guys that do the other videos get such huge hits is because they're running a little more PG than they are VG in their juice. The PG produces the vapor. The VG, which is the vegetable juice, or the vegetable oil rather, produces the taste. And I prefer taste over vapor, so I have mine at a 50-50 mix all the time. So when you see those guys doing those huge clouds, number one, it has to do with the ohmage they're running, and number two, it has to do with the mix of their juice. I'm running at 0.57 on this right here right now. That's what this one's set at. It's at 0.57. This is a 0.57 ohm build, which is not bad for a second build. The first one I did a single coil, and then I turned around and I decided I'm just going to try a dual coil. And I run the single coil for a couple of days, and I turned around and I put the dual coil in yesterday. And so, yeah, it's produces pretty much the exact same amount of vapor. It produces a little bit more, not by much, but a little. But it's 90% due to the build, the coil that you're using, the build and all that out there. But 20% of it also has to deal with what mix your juice is. If you're running 60-40, 60% PG, 40% VG, you're going to get a little bit more vapor. If you're running 70-30, 70% VG, 30% VG, then you're going to get a little bit more vapor. If you're running like 80% PG and 20% VG, you're going to get a lot of vapor. Or you can run 100% PG. That's what some do, and you get a little bit of flavoring with it, but you're basically doing it just for the smoke or the vapor. That's pretty much all you're doing it for. So when you get them and it doesn't quite put off like you think it should, it's because of the juice in the build. If you've got a dual coil, and depending on your ohmage, you're going to pump out some vapor. If you're running a certain kind of juice and it's more vegetable than it is poly, then you're not going to get that much vapor. But like I said, I run 50-50, and that's just me, and I'm just telling you how it is. That's why those guys get it. And I'm not knocking none of them. All of them do it for the show of it, because they're wanting that huge vapor cloud, so that's what they do. But anyway, though, that is my review of this. And as far as giving it a 1 out of 10, in my personal opinion, as far as clones, this is right up there with the tops. This is a damn good clone. The steam turbine clone from HCigar is a damn good build. It's really well constructed. It's all stainless steel. The Pyrex glass means that you can do the citrus if you want to do citrus flavored juices. You can. My alarm. I wasn't supposed to get up until just now. But it's a really good build. Out of 1 to 10, in my own personal opinion, I'm going to give this thing like a 9. I mean, it's a really, really good build. I like the look of it. I like the little jelly bean cutouts in the stainless steel. You can kind of see that. I like that. The fact that it has its air holes here is really nice. I mean, it's got a really good build. And the nice thing about it is when you fill this tank up to 2.5 milliliters, which is what she'll hold, it won't do like the atomizers, the internal little atomizers. When you fill your tank up, you top it off. You got it right at the edge, almost ready to pour down into the drip hole, and you stop and you put your atomizer and you screw it back in, and you turn it back up right. If it's a bottom feeder, you turn it back up right, you screw it on, and after one hit, you look and it's like a quarter of the way down, because it's sucked down into the well of the atomizer, and the wicks sucked it up. This one, the wicks suck it up, and then you fill it the rest of the way up, and that's it. Whatever you put in here, that's exactly how much juice you got. And running the dual coil, I get about a day out of a tank. Almost. Usually I can fill it up in the morning around like 7 o'clock, and by 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening, I put a little bit extra in it because I'm getting low. And that's one thing about it. When these things, if you look right here, you can see those bottom 2 holes right there. On this particular tank, when your juice gets down to about that second hole right there, you got the bottom one right here. When your juice gets down to about that second hole, you're going to want to top it off, because at that point it's working, but just like any other atomizer, when it gets kind of low down in the tank, the juice will start tasting a little odd, and you'll also start to get that burnt taste of wick occasionally, especially if you hit it more than twice in a row. Excuse me. But otherwise, it's definitely worth it. If you find it on eBay for, like I said, you can get them on eBay for like, 25 to 35 bucks. Some people's got them up there for a little bit more, but personally, if you see it and it's got the, the HCigar box with it, and most of those guys on eBay are real honest about this stuff. All my stuff that I've got as far as my mods, except for my VTR, have come from eBay. As a matter of fact, last night I bought the Stingray clone from that was made by Tobacco. I bought that, and I bought the Patriot clone dripper tank. as well, from the same guy on there, and I'd have to go back and look. I'm sorry, I can't remember their name right now, but in another, probably maybe tomorrow, if I can keep my head straight, I'll do not only the review of the Iron Man and maybe even the review of the Prometheus, but I'll also end up doing a quick review telling everybody what the names of certain buyers are on there that I bought my stuff from. That way, you know, they can get a little bit of credit out of it as well. But because I'm not even going to try to do it, the only thing I'm going to say is, you know, the guys that I bought this stuff off of, they were really cool. My toolkit, I'll also do a review on it as well for this thing, because the toolkit is very important when you get one of these, and you're definitely going to want to get you a really nice toolkit. So I'll do a review of my toolkit, and I'll tell you who I bought it from, and I'll do a review of the tank and tell you who I got it from, and I'll do a review of the Prometheus tank, not this one, the Prometheus tank, and I'll tell you who I got it off of, and I'll do a review of the Stingray and the Patriot when they come in, and I'll tell you who I got them from as well. So anyway, though, and a lot of the local dealers sometimes, at least down here, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I had a slight issue with my Iron Man mod, and I was going to take it to my local vape shop, and they basically just told me not to even bother. If you didn't buy it from them, they don't work on them. So I've come to the conclusion that I'll fix the stuff myself, you know, because the locals here are just obviously just out for the money. They're not out to help anybody, and that's just fine. You know, if that's how they want to be about it, that's them, not me. So, not mentioning any names, but anybody who lives around my area will know who I'm talking about. But anyway, though, that's my review of this. As far as I'm concerned, this is a really good tank. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as far as its performance and its quality. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. It's definitely up there. It's a really good build. HCigar done an excellent job on the clone for this. So I'm now running at 27 minutes. So I'm going to shut up. You guys have a great Saturday. Keep your tanks full and vape on.